Firefighting in Canada this week is brought to you by VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. In this edition, the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency has opened applications for its auto-extrication program, the first of its kind in Canada. Then, the Yukon First Nations Wildfire project receives funding through Canada's National Adaptation Strategy. And the newest episode of Firefighting in Canada, the podcast, is out now. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency is accepting applications from Saskatchewan fire departments for the Transportation Rescue Extrication Program, which provides auto-extrication training and equipment. The Transportation Rescue Extrication Program is the first of its kind in Canada and was developed in collaboration with the Saskatchewan Volunteer Firefighters Association, the Saskatchewan Association of Fire Chiefs, and the Provincial Training Standards Committee. The program aims to enhance capacity for fire departments to respond to motor vehicle collisions through the provisions of funded training and equipment. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency will facilitate mass training events for fire departments who do not have the capacity to hold their own training as required by the Transportation Rescue Extrication Program guidelines and vendors. The first mass training event will be held in Regina from March 31st to April 2nd. The Transportation Rescue Extrication Program is supported by one-time funding of $5.6 million from Saskatchewan Government Insurance and administered by the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. Program funds will be prioritized using information provided through the application process by the fire department and the historical data provided by Saskatchewan Government Insurance and Sask 911. Applications will remain open until all funds have been distributed. As a part of Canada's National Adaptation Strategy, $3.5 million has been budgeted in support of the Yukon First Nations Wildfire project. This pilot project will provide training for 10 instructors and 120 wildland firefighters under the Indigenous Firefighter and Multi-Hazards Training Initiative. The project will support the Yukon First Nations Wildfire's vision to incorporate traditional Indigenous knowledge in wildland firefighting and help to form the Wildfire Training Program. Support for the Yukon First Nations Wildfire project comes from Budget 2022, which provided Natural Resources Canada with $37.9 million over 5 years to train 1,000 firefighters and incorporate Indigenous traditional knowledge in fire management under the Fighting and Managing Wildfires in a Changing Climate program. The Wildfire Training Program will be fully launched in 2024 and 2025. The newest episode of Firefighting in Canada, the podcast, is out now. Host Fire Chief Tom DeSorcy is joined by Red Deer's Fire Chief Ken McMullen, the new president of the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs. The two talk about inflation, budget cycles, minimum training standards, medical response, mental health, and the importance of advocacy at the CAFC.
The CAFC and the Canadian Fire Service has a voice, has a seat at the table talking about mental health for all first responders. And we have gained funding, we have distributed funding. For a lot of years, the CAFC didn't really want to be a deliverer of programs. We didn't want to own programs. We wanted to help get resources to communities. And I will tell you that there was a strategic move 18 months ago where Dr. Saradine and the team suggested that, we've done enough trying to distribute. We really have an opportunity to deliver.
Listen to the full episode now by visiting firefightingincanada.com under the podcast tab. Thanks again to VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. Stay tuned for our next episode on Friday, January 20th.